dreams to filter through this land of ours and fill a sportsman's dreams. Enjoy what nature holds for us, her bounty never ends. Getting back to basics with the practical sportsman. It's always an adventure, no matter where we go. From a favorite hunting spot to the hottest fishing hole. Outdoor life we all can share with family and friends. We'll do it all together with a practical sportsman. We'll do it all together with a practical sportsman.
Hi there, come on in. I'm Fred Trost. It is Thursday night, December 19th, just 1 week before Christmas. And on this pre-Christmas show, one thing we're going to show you is some of the gifts and donations we've got for all these collections we have here at the museum.
I'm Zachary Trost, and we've got some interesting proposed regulations for deer season coming up in the Michigan Outdoor News.
And speaking of regulations, I'm going to do a question of law about some sticky trespass issues.
So stay tuned, this is all coming up in the next half hour of The Practical Sportsman.
Got an email from a guy named Clarence Miller who asked if a property owner posts his property with no hunting signs, does this mean that he himself cannot hunt? If so, shouldn't the land be posted, keep out, no trespassing? Or is it implied that no hunting is directed to all others except him? Well, believe it or not, I do get this question quite frequently. I'll tell you why in just a moment, but let me answer the question. You know, if you don't think about it much, it almost makes sense. No hunting means nobody can hunt. Now, that would be true if this was a statute that the state, made a law out of, but it isn't. It's just a sign that a private person puts up on his property to protect his property so that he can hunt it. And the reason they generally say no hunting rather than no trespassing is because hunters are the ones that come on and trespass. But do you know where this crazy idea came from? Well, I read, I think about a year ago, somewhere that it was PETA or one of those animal rights groups actually sued a landowner who hunted and had no hunting signs up there instead of no trespassing, and they tried to get a court order saying that he couldn't hunt on his own property. Well, that was bounced out of court. But just for your information, that's where that rumor came from. Now here's another email from a guy named Dave Ruffley who found an area of the state to hunt during rifle season. This is up north, and the eastern edge of his property went right abutted against I-75. And he said, the only access to the area would be by the place where I had my blind. But on the second day of the season, there were quite a few hunters walking around that area, but no one slipped by me. The only thing I could figure out was that the hunters parked their vehicles on the east side of I-75. They walked over the highway overpass, hopped the fence to the state land. Now, if this is true, did these hunters violate any state or federal laws crossing over the interstate with their guns? Well, I don't see any violation here. I mean, in the rifle zone, if they had their hunting license, they can carry their gun in the woods, they can carry it along a road, they can carry it across the road. And I just don't see any crime there. When it comes to hopping the fence on the state land, hopping the fence wouldn't be a crime. It would be if there was trespass involved getting up to that fence. But if the land going up to the fence was just the public easement along the highway, it probably belongs to the state anyway, and I don't see any crime there. But remember, the nature of public land is that it belongs to all of us. And as long as you can get to it without trespassing, anybody can hunt it.
Well, this week's county for the Fish and Game Hall of Fame, I'll give you a couple of hints. It's the county that's centrally located in the Lower Peninsula of Michigan, and before it was a county, in 1831 when it was formed, it was inhabited by the Chippewa Indians. Today, the Saginaw Chippewa Indian Reservation runs the Soaring Eagle Casino in this county. And also, this county was named after a queen of Spain. Her name was Isabella, which pretty much gives away the name. It's Isabella County right here in the center of the state. The county seat is Mount Pleasant, which is the home of Central Michigan University. And just east of Mount Pleasant is a town called Oil City, and that's where the first oil wells were discovered in the late 1920s. It's made the area known as the oil capital of Michigan, well up until about the early 1990s. Isabella County also has a lot of sportsmen who have entered our Fish and Game Hall of Fame. Well, the next Fish and Game Hall of Fame is going to be coming from Delta County.
This is Darrell Highway. Highway. What kind of name is that?
It's a German name. Spelling was changed. The E was dropped.
Ah, I see. So now it's Highway from Lowell. You got this walleye in Saginaw Bay. This is a 12-pounder, 30 inches long, ice fishing. So, in one sentence, tell me the story of catching the fish.
I went fishing with Linda, my girlfriend here, her son, on his snowmobile, and we didn't catch any fish until 10 o'clock, and I caught smaller fish, and then I caught this one shortly after that.
Okay, that was the exciting story of the catch, but here's the exciting story of the mount. Who mounted this fish, Linda?
I did.
You're a taxidermist?
Yes, I am. I've been doing taxidermy work for about 15 years. And whatever he brings home, if it's pretty good, I mount it.
What do you take in business? I mean,
Oh, yeah, I do. Yeah.
what's your shop? What's the name
It's
of your
called
shop?
Nature's Best Taxidermy in Lowell.
In Lowell.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this is look right down the mouth of that, John. That's you can really see the gills and everything.
Gills and everything, yeah.
So what? Oh, and you even put an eye on the opposite side here.
Of course, it's got to be good on. It's got to look good on the front and the back also.
Oh, that is pretty neat. So you put a lot of time into your fish.
Yes, I do. Yeah, I enjoy doing it. I also teach 4th grade. This is my hobby.
Whoa. What do you mount other things than fish?
Yes, I do mammals, birds, fish.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
That's a great mount.
Thank
great
you.
story. Well,
Thank
Linda,
you. Yes.
way to go.
Thanks.
And way to go to you, too. Darrell Highway. Very good.
Dips and appetizers are real popular right now, and we've got a delicious venison pizza dip recipe from Jack Morrow. And this is actually kind of, he just adapted a recipe and added the venison sausage to it. And for a base, you're going to use cream cheese and a little bit of sour cream, some oregano, some red pepper, and some garlic powder. You just want to mix that all up.
Relatively spicy.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, even for
Yep.
a pizza.
Yep. And this is going to be actually kind of like a crust, rather than using a pizza crust or anything. This is going to go into a pie plate, and then you're just going to smooth it all around.
Oh, I see what you mean. It's not going to be crusty.
Right,
But it's on the
exactly.
bottom where the crust would go
Yep,
of a
because
pizza.
it will dip down in. Everything will dip down into it. And then you're going to add pizza sauce to the top of that. And then, of course, your venison sausage. Now, this is like a summer sausage, and then just cut into chunks.
Some people love that.
Some people do.
Summer sausage is not my favorite, but it's always interesting to hear what
Right.
judges
And I
say.
think like this, it's not just a chunk of sausage. You got your other ingredients with it.
So what was that? Onion and green peppers?
Right, add it onto the top, and then it goes into the oven for about 10 minutes, and then you're going to add cheese to the top of that and put it back in for about 5 more minutes. And that's all there is to it.
So, and that you dip into
Right,
with
crackers
chips?
or veggies or whatever you wanted to.
Huh, I'll be done. I wonder how that would be on a pizza crust. An interesting thought. Well, there's Jack Morrow. He's the man who came up with this recipe and dazzled the judges. Let's hear what he has to say about it.
It's just an appetizer that you can use just about anything with, and we decided to adapt it to venison. And the venison just adds that little extra flavor.
Well, so where did it come from? Was this off the back of a box of chips or what?
I really couldn't tell you the origin. I really don't know what it came from.
Well, it's unique.
Yes, I agree with that.
But now, what about it do people find appealing?
I think if you're having a little crowd over, you know, for some libations and so forth, they like little, you know, pepperoni type pizza things, little appetizers, things that get the spices in the mouth going so they can wash them down with all the rest of the good things.
Pizza was wonderful. That could be in a category all by itself. So we know I'm the resident pizza man on this program. Right, Bob? You know?
Yeah.
But I'm going to have to go with, I just made my decision, with the pizza.
With the
because for the reason of the venison sausage was wonderful. And I'd like that recipe. You know, that was great.
Here's a new segment of the show that we're introducing called The Curious Collector. I've done things on collecting in the past, and we're going to be bringing that back, showing you some of the items we have here at the Museum of Outdoor Collectibles. This is something pretty cool that Linda Sales from St. Helen made. It's, you know, a replica of a saw along with a wood burning of a scene on the saw. There are some artists who actually paint on saw blades, but she kind of replicated the whole thing here, which I think is pretty cool. Zach, Linda Sales also did something off a photograph of me, which I think is pretty cool.
Well, of course you would like this, Fred. It's a picture of you. But she just does some amazing work. I mean, I've tried wood burning, and I can't get it to look anything like this, but it's pretty nice. She did a thing of the state of Michigan here, and if you look closely, check this out right here at the Upper Peninsula to the Lower Peninsula. She's got the Mackinac Bridge there.
Quite creative, that bridge there and the whole thing by Linda Sales. And here's another thing that's extremely creative, and it's off of the same photograph. A fellow named Elmer Zurakowski from Detroit made this up. It's a three-dimensional wood-burning carving, I guess you call it, of me. And he sent it to me with a letter that said, for the last 20-some years, I've been a wood carving demonstrator at the Michigan State Fair. This year, I was pleased to have a carving of you on display in the Community Arts Building, along with the State Police Officer of the Year and a few others. He said, over the years, I've done carvings of many people from many walks of life, but I must admit that I did not always get as much pleasure from some of these exercises as I did from yours. Well, that was awful nice to say, Elmer. He says, keep up the good work, and I say to Elmer Zurakowski, well, you keep up the good work, and thank you for this creative addition to our Museum of Outdoor Collectibles.
Well, speaking of creativity, this is from Bill Deering from Oxford, and he's found yet another use for duct tape. This is ties that he makes. Him and his wife stopped by the museum a few months ago and gave us these just lovely duct tape ties. And, you know, the good thing about them is if you're a little messy, washes right off.
And here's something that's a little unique. This is a certificate of title of the Bass Fisherman's pickup truck. Now, a friend of my parents, Al Goldner from Bloomfield Hills, got this, and he thought that we should have it here at the museum, which we really appreciate this. This is a replica of a little pickup truck. I think it's a 1953 Chevrolet pickup truck, and it actually, pretty cool because it really works here. You can open the doors. You can even open the hood to see the engine underneath here. It has all kinds of stuff in the back of the pickup truck, not to mention all the artwork. Oh, you can see right there the rack behind the window. That is to put the actually miniature rod and reel right here that goes in that little rack. I don't think I can get that in here
Well, of course, in the back window too. There,
back
you have
window.
Your
Put your guns
gun
in there.
rack,
Yeah. But it has all kinds of things. A little ice chest. It has a landing net in the back here. Well, here, I might as well just pull down the tailgate of the pickup truck. It has some little waders that are actually canvas waders.
Oh, you're going to be all set for the
Oh,
bathtub
all
tonight,
set.
aren't you?
That's right. And here's a little sleeping bag and some oars, all this stuff in the back of this little bass fisherman's pickup truck. And this comes in a series, I guess, of fishing pickups. And I want to thank Al Goldner for donating this to the museum. This is a great type of Christmas gift. Pretty cool, don't you think? I've always wanted to have a pickup truck like that.
Absolutely.
I think that is awesome. Thank you, Al.
Well, speaking of some of these old vintage pickups, I don't actually have one here. I've got a picture of one, and it's actually on the back wall of this replica outhouse that Jim Preston made for us. It's completely outfitted. You got your teepee here, a mirror, of course, a picture of the big bass, and inside there's actually room for two, his and hers. And last little touch here is the patriotic American flag.
I absolutely love all these things that people donate or loan to us here at the museum. I just can't hardly get enough collecting, Zach. The sad thing about the winter is the yard sale season is over for a while.
Well, sad for some of us, good for others. But
For the ice fishermen down south here have had kind of a...
it has warmed up a little bit today. It is supposed to cool off in the next few days, but there is some ice fishing going on up north, and we'll have that coming right up here in the guides report.
Well, that wraps up our pre-Christmas show. Our museum is closed for the holidays here now. We're going to be refurbishing it and working on it. I'm going to work the lights here right now for Zach, who has one little last Christmas gift idea that if you're a sportsman and you're kind of creative, you might like this one.
Well, just one last quick Christmas idea here. Old shotgun shells. I had an idea. Take a little glue, the glue gun, hot glue gun, stick it there on the bulb, stick the shotgun shell on there, it's glued stuck, and voila, you have homemade shotgun shell Christmas lights for the tree. Well, Merry Christmas, everybody. Have a good holiday, and we'll see you next week on The Practical Sportsman.
I've been doing taxidermy work for about 15 years, and whatever he brings home, if it's pretty good, I mount it.
What do you take in business? I mean,
Oh yeah, I do, yeah.
what's your shop? What's the name
It's
of
called
your
Nature's Best Taxidermy in Lowell.
shop? In Lowell.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this is look right down the mouth of that, John. That's you can really see the gills and everything.
Gills and everything, yeah.
So what? Oh, and you even put an eye on the opposite side here.
Of course, it's got to be good on. It's got to look good on the front and the back also.
Oh, that is pretty neat. So you put a lot of time into your fish.
Yes, I do. Yeah, I enjoy doing it. I also teach 4th grade. This is my hobby.
Whoa. What, do you mount other things than fish?
Yes, I do mammals, birds, fish.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
That's a great mount.
Thank
great
you.
story. Well,
Thank
Linda,
you. Yes.
way to go.
Thanks.
And way to go to you, too. Darrell Highway. Very good.